Yeah, no, I am sure of it. You don't really want to sell trading cards. Unless you know how to do it right. I'm going to shoot straight here. There's a lot in this industry that many of you would hate. But there's three perspective shifts that I've had that make it one of the best things I've ever done. But before we get into that, if you don't know me, my name is Brandon. I'm the founder of the Card Pirates TCG, aka the Card Pirate Captain. And I make content like this to document my journey selling trading cards in order that someone might learn something from my failures or successes, or at the very least, they might be entertained by the voyage. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, then subscribe, like, and comment. Tell me who I'm sailing with. Now, selling TCG, in my opinion, is a lot like working in retail, which is a job that I'm sure many of us have done, and most of us, myself included, did not like. So in retail, you set up your inventory for people to view, and you organize, price, display all your products in order that you can have the right person come in at the right time, buy the product, swipe their card, and walk away with a smile. But the reality is, you're stuck waiting most of the time. And if no one shows up at all, then you sell nothing, and you've essentially done all that work for free. But that's also the gig with trading cards. You sift, you sort, you price, you list. All of that with no guarantee that anyone will buy. And the reality is, if you don't have a wide variety of inventory, a lot of it's going to sit for a while. It took nearly a week for me to sell anything when I started, and I had some pretty good value on there. I mean, I had Rayquaza and Pikachu and a variety of other cards that I had listed, all from decent sets that were desirable, and yet many of them still remain on my store to this day, over a month later. But this is where perspective one shows up. You see, empty shelves are ugly. I learned this firsthand working retail back during COVID era. The store that I worked at, like many others, had severe supply chain issues due to the pandemic. And this meant that our inventory was limited, so we had to create creative ways to fill the shelves so that we looked like we were stocked. But sometimes it just wasn't possible. We just didn't have enough, and you at some point can't just keep putting the same product next to itself over and over and over. So people would come through pretty much daily and ask if we were going out of business. They saw the empty spots on the shelves, the empty space on the floor, and just assumed, forget the fact that a global pandemic was going on, that there was major supply chain issues across the world. Their first thought was we were going out of business. Fascinating. I guess not having product must mean that the store was failing. But that wasn't the case, yet that was the perception people had. So when I started my business, sales were taking time to happen. So I viewed it as an opportunity to stock my shelves. I had the backlog of my own personal collection that I was listing, and so I took it upon myself to start putting as many cards as I could on my site of eBay that I possibly could, just to make it look, and actuality, right, to fill those shelves so that people would see that I had product available. My thought was, if I could accumulate tens or hundreds of available products while I waited for the first ones to sell, then by the time I did start selling, I wouldn't immediately run out of product. And at the same time, it would make it look like it was a fully stocked store. Lo and behold, it worked. The store is nearly 3,000 listings at the time of recording this, and has sold over 170 individual cards. And had I waited for those first set of cards to sell, I wouldn't have taken advantage of the opportunity of the variety of people looking for the variety of cards. So I still have stuff available. And that's the thing, right? You got to remember this. The best inventory is available inventory. People can't buy what you don't have. People can't look on your store if it's completely void of stock. So I know you're probably asking, if I don't have that many cards, what am I supposed to do? And you are going to think that I am extremely insensitive for saying this, but this is the reality. Just get more cards. If you're already selling and maybe you bought a little bit or you have a little bit and you listed it and they're not moving, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, I don't have that many cards. I only have 100 cards. I listed them all. That's it. That's all I got. Get more. Sure, that is going to sound, once again, insensitive, except for the fact that you have ways to do it. And you're selling yourself short if you think that you can't. You can save $1 here or there from your work, or you can sell some stuff that you don't need, or you can do some work you don't want to do that's additional to what you're doing. And even if it takes you months to accumulate enough to buy $20 worth of bulk, do it. Because you can find on TCG Player, on eBay, in your local area, someone who's selling even 500 cards for $20. And if you do that, you can stock the shelves, even if you're not going to be making as good of a profit as you would like. This is where, if we're talking about the quality of our inventory, you can see one of my other videos for more details about that. It doesn't matter. If you're starting with something, you're starting with something. And we just need movement. We don't need it to be the best quality. We just need things to be available for people to buy. So get more cards. But I understand that can be a lot. The idea of searching for inventory and having to put out all that effort in hopes that maybe I'll be able to stock enough for people to actually want to buy. But check out this perspective. Treat searching for inventory like hunting for treasure. Let me be clear. I do not mean go to the retail store and buy booster boxes, open up all the packs, and hope you find some cards that get you your money back. That is a terrible, awful business plan. What I mean is, I want you to be excited about the prospect of getting a good deal on cards. And honestly, just about getting cards in general. Whether it's buying bulk, collections, or anything else, frame your mentality about the excitement of collecting good quality inventory, but at the very least, make it so that you are excited about having any inventory. The kind of product that has good margins is obviously our favorite. It's widely desirable. It keeps the shelves full and makes sure that we make money. But here's the thing. I know the idea of selling a card and making 60 cents or less off of it is boring. It feels degrading at times, sure, but the numbers do add up. And the reality is, the more sales you get, the more feedback you can get, the more reviews, and the more your business can profit off of the reputation it has too. Yes, I know that it is daunting, but if you can get more things available, more people will look. And if you can sell more things from all of that availability, then more people will give you good feedback, and then more people will see the good feedback and want to buy more. But the reality is still that you're going to potentially sell thousands to make hundreds, or hundreds to make tens, and then just do it all over again. And the output of the amount of work you'll have to do in order to get there is not going to be a lot of fun all the time. And that's why I said at the beginning that most people would hate the nitty-gritty work of this industry, because the reality is that even if you are working and buying collections, that you're selling cards that are $20, $50, or even over $100, and you're still only making less than 30%, and that is before you add in all of the fees. It sounds awful on paper, I'm not going to lie, especially when we see a world around us where there are million and billionaires who seem to make 10,000x their investment just by breathing. But even though the numbers make it easy to be discouraged, there is one more mindset shift that has really helped frame this for me and helped me weather those moments when I've literally had days when nothing was purchased. Remember this: you are building something, you're not making a pile. Think of it like this: if you were going to build a house, you wouldn't want it to be rushed, right? You would want the foundation laid, you would want the framing secured, the plumbing, electrical, and all the other elements of the house to be properly completed regardless of how long they took. Because the last thing that any of us want is the fear that our house might fall apart on us at any given moment. It's the same when you're building a business. And if that's what you're really trying to do, whether it is a hobby or something that you hope will eventually be full-time, part-time, whatever capacity, you want it to begin and end on your terms. And treating your efforts with the patience and grace required for them to grow fully and healthy will give you the courage when something isn't happening as quickly as you thought or the way that you thought it would. Be aware of what you're doing. Absolutely. Don't just run blindly, make decisions with no thought involved. But don't overanalyze either. Don't make rash decisions based off of the minutes or hours of information you've collected. And remember, these things will take time. Let them take it. Your job is just to guide what's happening. Because if the ship's hull was built right, it'll sail damn near forever. That's all I got for you today, so please take care of yourselves out there. And if TCG treasure is what you seek, consider sailing with the pirates next time. Card Pirate Captain, out.